Hey guys, as you know, the new stages of Tide just came out, and I want to give you guys the most comprehensive guide possible that you will be able to find on the new stages. These things scale so astronomically high that it is really hard to keep up, but with all of the things I'm going to tell you guys in this video, you're going to be able to do the same and push very high. As you can see, we are on Max account, who is in the top 100 comparatively to the accounts near him. This account has far less awakenings, far less gear, and far less BP on paper than most of the people around him, but he's still getting really high because he knows how to optimize Tide. And that's exactly what I'm here to teach you guys as well. So with that being said, let's get right into it. So the first thing that you want to understand here is Tide is all about BP, okay? Tide is a BP game mode. This is one of the only things. Now there's a bunch of BP guides. I'll give you guys a little bit of a rundown later, but the general thing is you want to try to match the stage BP. And in the previous stages of Tide, like 160 and below, you were not able to even attempt it properly without being either equal to or higher than the BP on the stage. For these, you can actually be in a bit of a deficit, but you really want to try to get it as close as possible. Like, for example, this is almost a million difference. This stage is not going to be possible, most likely, without some optimizations. So just get that out of the way. So, with that being said, how do we maximize that? Well, the first thing you guys need to do is go to your Tide talents. If you have done Tide before, which you should have, if you are playing around where you're actually able to challenge these things, you can see that basic talents are all completed, and we have peak talents. Now, peak talents are there specifically to increase your VP, is all I want you guys to think of it as. And the best way to optimize your VP is, here, let me reset it here. If you want to maximize it, make sure to reset your BP right now. And what you want to do is you want to focus one column first, which is going to be melee boost for both attack, defense, and also HP. You just want to max out this as soon as possible. This is because you have the most ground units. They fit both fighters and tanks. And if you know anything about BP, fighters on average have the highest BP. And once again, there's a lot of them. So you want to maximize the melee stuff first, as much as possible. Beyond that point, what you want to do is you want to focus these two, which are going to be the marksman attack and then the mage attack. Now you're going to be placing marksmen, defenders, and mages. So you want to maximize the attack on all of them. And then beyond that point, you just want to go with what makes sense. So for this account, we have better marksmen, whether it's the awakenings, whether it's just the heroes in general, we have more high BP marksmen. So what we're going to do is we are going to max out the marksmen because we're going to use more. Then we're going to pick one of the other ones. I find that HP gives more BP than defense, so you want to do HP before defense. And then we're going to try to max the other one, then max the last one there. The supports, you know, the healers, you're not obligated to place them, which means that you don't really need to try to upgrade them or even use any healers. Okay, that is the first thing. Now keep in mind, you can play around with this however much you want. Uses gems, I mean not gems, sorry, uses gold. I don't know if it ever becomes gems, but either way you can reset it however you would like. And as you can see, by moving our mage stuff to our marksman stuff, we actually got even closer. Now this is step number one. This is the most important thing you can do for very fast additions to your BP. And then we get to kind of the nuanced stuff. So if we go into the stage, you're going to see a couple things. Number one is we have a lot of ground units, right? All of the platform tiles are not taken up because the ground units give so much. Then you might notice that there's no supports. Like I said, supports, you're not obligated to place them. And the reason why that is because some of the basic talents make it so that you get extra stats if you have 3 marksmen, 3 mages, and 3 tanks. Sorry. So marksman, mages, tanks, you need at least 3. And if you look at these rosters, you can see that we have Regulus, Torador, Cyrus, 3 tanks. We have Beelzebub, Kratos, and Ingrid, 3 mages. And then we also have 3 marksmen, Silas, Hatsit, Hex, and then Setram Yovar, because we have the highest BP with those, okay? That is very, very important. Now, to try to show this off a little bit, I'm going to get rid of Beelzebub, which brings us down to 19.1 million, right? And this is such a big BP loss, right? It is well over 1 million. Beelzebub is not at 1 million BP, and that's because we're breaking the mage thing. So what you'll be able to see is if we get rid of Hex, we lose about 1.3 mil, approximately, which is a decently large margin, but it's not, you know, the most insane because we have other marksmen. But if we put Hex down and we get rid of these two, now we're at 18.1. And if we get rid of Hex, it goes down a ton more. Look, we went down about 1.3 before. Now we're going down well over 1.3. Okay, so you want to have 3 mages, 3 marksmen, 3 tanks. No matter what, this is what you want to have. Here, let me just put Silas on the bottom. That's very important. Then we get to the other things. You might notice we have Astrael here. If I sell Astrael, he is not higher than Rygar, right? Put down Rygar, and weirdly enough, he's not the same BP. But this is in order of BP, is it not? If I put down Valkyra, who's even further along the line, I'm still getting less BP than Astrael, and that's because tacticians are weird, and they get an extra bonus that fighters and tanks and all of the other classes do not get. You must put every single tactician that you have on your team. This account does not have Valara, or we would be beating this stage already. So put down your tacticians. Very, very important. They give extra BP. I do not know why, but that is the case. Okay, so Astrael, I know you might not want to skill him, but if you want to maximize your BP, you got to do it. Same with Miraidon and Valara as of now. Now, there's a couple other things that are pretty strange, and I'm going to give you guys kind of hypotheticals as to how they could work, but it's kind of undecided, so these are not like super hard set in stone. Basically, we think that awakenings matter. Obviously, awakenings give extra BP, but we think it matters even further in like kind of a way where maybe the BP is multiplied a little bit by the amount of awakenings you have, similar to how the Lord boost works in GVG. Basically, more awakenings you have, the better, okay? Also, Lords may get a little bit higher. I don't think this is true, but it's something that is potentially possible. Who knows? Okay, now the last thing to really go over, I mean, Tide's a pretty cookie cutter game mode. I kind of went over all the tips and tricks that I could, except for how to gear your heroes. So the main thing you want to do is you want to take all of your heroes and quick unequip all of them, okay? You're just gonna remove all the gear. It's a little annoying, I understand, but anyone you are not using for Tide, you're gonna unequip. Even the people you're going to use for Tide, you're going to unequip. And then you're going to go through every single unit and you're going to auto-equip. This is the very bare bones, easy way to BP max. Okay? This is how most of you guys are probably going to do it. This is how I'm probably going to do it for my account when I finally lock in and actually do it, is I'm going to click auto. I'm going to take the better gear, or I'm just going to take whatever gear it gives me here. As an example, Elowen, auto-equip over 100k. Really nice, right? This is the first thing you can do. The other thing is to BP max. The general things you need to understand for BP maxing is if they have an exclusive piece, generally from Forge, I think is how you get exclusives only, you're going to want these exclusive pieces because they give you a ton more BP. So as you can see, we have Uridan right there. We also have the faction exclusives. Those are huge. You also get a lot of BP from Malric gems. As you can see there, there's 5% roll, ridiculous. And you can see the same thing here. Star Piercer, Yovar piece. Then we can go over to Silas. Silas actually has a bangle, which is going to give him extra BP, and we have another Star Piercer ring. These are all really, really important things to have. That's kind of what you want to focus on. The other thing is attack is king. You're going to want to look for attack percent mains. Generally, these 3 stats, and either flat attack or depending on the rolls, maybe it could be a different 4th stat. I would just recommend clicking through everything. But if it's a unit where you don't have a ring, you're going to want to use Ageless Wrath. Those are kind of the general tips. And then for left side, you want to use the things that have attack bonus. You want to use crit damage, attack speed are the main things, and crit rate. As you can see, we have some quads here, which are very good. Quads here, which are also very good. Ingrid's a little higher BP wise, so that's why. But either way, that is how you BP max for Tide and make sure Tide gets done. The final thing I want to do is I want to actually attempt it with such a big deficit, and we're going to see how bad this goes. Generally, what you want to try to aim for is for normal fights, aka non-boss stages, you want to try to aim for within about 400 to 500,000 BP. This is closer to 600, which is not ideal. Against bosses, you want to try to have a difference of about 200 to 300,000. And if you can get that, you'll have a much easier time. Also, ground units are there for the BP increase because fighters give a ton of BP. You're most likely not going to get much help. So as you can see, we are not doing a lot of damage. This is exactly what I figured would happen, and is what will probably happen to you. If this happens, you just got to try to equalize your BP. There's a lot of things that don't make sense, right? Certain heroes, certain things will affect your run differently, make it easier and or harder, and you just got to tinker around. There's a lot of tinkering around if you really want to maximize this, but hopefully, if you haven't really put your all into it yet, hopefully this video helps you guys out a little bit. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys. Thanks for Mac for letting me use his account. And thank you guys for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Like and subscribe. And Destined signing out.